You write in the book how this new paradigm is playing out both politically and in terms of the constriction of individual freedom. You write, our digital identity belongs neither to us nor to the state. Strewn across countless privately owned digital realms, it has many owners, none of which is us. A private bank owns your ID codes and your entire purchasing record. Facebook is intimately familiar with whom or what you like. Twitter remembers every little thought that caught your attention, every opinion that you agreed with, that made you furious, that you lingered over idly before scrolling on. Apple and Google know better than you do what you watch, read, buy, whom you meet, when and where. Spotify owns a record of your musical preferences more complete than the ones stored in your conscious memory, and behind them are countless others invisibly gathering, monitoring, sifting, and trading your activity for information about you. With every day that passes, some cloud-based corporation whose owners you will never care to know owns another aspect of your identity. Let's talk about how this plays out. Number one, in terms of politics, we're watching the rise of Trump and kind of rapacious oligarchic elite dismantle what's left of a very anemic state, and then talk about how, the consequences for us. You say that we're essentially being pushed back into the role of serfdom.
Back then in the 70s, when these interesting debates were taking place between the Marxist left and the libertarian right, one of the defining concepts of the right was the concept of the liberal individual, the autonomous sovereign agent, who likes what he does, was usually he, and does what he likes. Homo economicus, right? So, students of economics are still being taught this model. The idea is that you are a bundle of preferences, which are your design, completely your realm. You choose what you like. You may like stupid things, but it's your right. Nobody has a right to tell you that it's a stupid thing. There's no such thing as a stupid preference. There is just a preference. So you're a liberal individual. That liberal individual transacts with others through markets. This is the main modus of interaction with other people. You sell them apples, you get back from them oranges, or you sell capital and you get labor, or labor and you get capital. That's the right-wing perception of the good capitalist society, of the enterprise culture, of the market society. That's gone, because when you have Alexa and you're training it to train it to put preferences into your head, there's no such thing as the autonomous individual anymore, right? You are in a constant dialectical relationship with a machine, or a network of machines owned by the 0.00001%, not even the 0.1%, that tells you what you want. So suddenly you are in the matrix. You are not in the realm of freedom of Friedrich von Hayek or Milton Friedman, right? That's point number one. Point number two, the other loss of the liberal individual, or decline of the liberal individual, has to do with the separation between work and play. In the traditional liberal mind or libertarian mind, even in Homo economicus, if you look at every textbook that has ever been written about consumer choices, if you look at the way that the labor market is described by Nobel Prize winners, the idea there is that work is something that gives you disutility, so you suffer while you're working, you get tired, you get bored, whatever, but you do it, it's the price you have to pay to get your wage, which then secures a degree of autonomy for you during your leisure time, or leisure, as you would say in America, right? So there is, for there to be a liberal individual, there has to be a separation between work time and play time. But now, cloud capital has eradicated that borderline, that fence between work time and play time. It's not just because you're taking home your work with your emails and working from home. There is that, but it's actually something far worse, which I first noticed amongst my students before I got into politics in 2013, 2014. And actually, I noticed that when I lived in the United States. I noticed how angst-ridden youngsters were about social media. And it was a kind of subconscious angst because, when you know that your social media profile is on the public record, and you know that, in a year's time, 5 years' time, when you apply for a job that you really crave at Google or Microsoft or one of the big snazzy cloud lists, you know that before you are given the chance for an interview, some bot, not even a human being, is going to go through your social media profile. So it's midnight, you're in bed, you're thinking of posting something on Instagram. Deep down, you know that this is going to be part of your CV, your digital CV, 5 years hence. So, especially if you're not totally conscious of this works in your subconscious. At that moment, you're trying to curate yourself on behalf of some employer. Gone the liberal individual who, during his or her free time, just before going to bed at midnight, expresses himself or herself by posting a video on Instagram. So there is I could be, talking for hours about the manner in which the very concept of the liberal individual, which is at the heart of right-wing philosophy, is now not fit for purpose anymore.
The whole, when that scandal broke about Ashley Madison, the website for people who wanted to carry on affairs outside of their marriages, it turned out that most of the men, or many of the men who were communicating, they thought they were communicating with women, and apparently you paid, you had to pay according to the time you were on the site, were just communicating with bots. They were being fleeced of thousands of dollars by bots.
Indeed, indeed.